Males are always more fierce. This is the male. The orange one is the female. However, color does not determine the gender. Color doesn't determine the gender. What? It does. It does. The growing, it lowers. They do. Oh, which is the grey crowned crane that some people call the crested crane. Now that bird is endangered also. Okay. And one thing that you should know how to help something is to know where it stays. This bird is a wetland bird. Okay. And now what are the challenges? What challenges is this bird facing? One, habitat destruction. So you can play a part. Some of you come near wetlands, okay? Some of you come near wetlands, and you do not care because it's not your role to conserve this bird. According to you, my dear, imagine of a life imagine of a life where some of you maybe your totem is a crane. All of us, our national emblem is a crane, and we can only speak about it in the monuments. Like that dinosaur you are seeing right there, the monument there. There is no dinosaur anywhere, and it can happen on the crane because too much poaching. There is some even false information that not you. Some people are always lied to by the traditional healers that if you want to keep your man forever, because the crane keeps spouses forever. Cranes, they're made for life. Bring the eggs of these birds and you'll have your spouse forever. So all those are challenges. Some of you have farms and you are putting poison on your grain so that the cranes die. In the long run, they will get extinct. But if you reverse that clock, you can do all that it takes to ensure that you conserve them. They're the biggest of all elephants, and you can easily differentiate African elephants from Asian elephants by looking at the ear and size. Their sizes are bigger, but also the ear almost looks like the map of Africa. Almost looks like the map of Africa, if you are able to see. Entirely herbivores. Elephants stay in a group called a herd, and that herd is the matriarch, okay? Usually the eldest female leads the group, okay? It's tested beyond doubt that they have a very good memory, that they're able to remember places, and that's why you see sometimes they are problem animals, because they are tracing their migratory corridors. Maybe 40 years ago, for you hadn't bought that plot of land, and now you built your house 20 years ago, and the elephant 40 years ago they used to cross there when it's dry season. Apparently climate change, we have unpredictable seasons. Elephants are looking for water somewhere, and they find your house, they put it down, and for you think you think you have the right over that land. 40 years ago, that used to be migratory corridor. But due to the population pressure, people are going to national park, going to conservation areas, and they end up having conflicts. One of the major challenges that conservation is facing is called human-wildlife conflicts. Okay? Yeah, the issues between human and wildlife. And for us, what we say is what we call a harmonious coexistence. How best can we coexist? Okay? Any questions? So, under which kingdom is an elephant? Kingdom Animalia. Under which phylum? Under which class? No, you are right. Mammalia. Hey. So that's why I told you everything is on that thing. So this, I think they don't want a scientific name. You want it? This is like I first give you the species. So this is the Savannah African savanna elephant. The scientific name is Loxodonta africana. You know the rule, right? How to learn scientific names. Just it's a rule.
Yeah,
how versatile it can be. It's better for us to identify it with sight. So focus on the skin pattern, the way the coat is, because there is still a challenge of identifying these animals. Okay, look at how the coat looks like. What color are the patterns? Okay, are you able to see that the patterns are in the form of paw prints? Okay, it's like a paw print or a rosette, like a petal of a flower. Okay, and they are called rosettes, not spots. So it's important for you to tell that the leopard does not have spots, like maybe the cheetah. However, the leopard slightly resembles the cheetah due to the color. Okay, and this is the leopard. It's solitary. Leopards prefer to stay alone. Okay, that's its social behavior. You move alone, and you know the advantages and disadvantages of living a solitary life, right? Yeah, so there is limited competition, especially intra-specific competition. Usually when they are towards their mating season, the female will release pheromone in the urine, then the male will trace for that scent, and they will mate. And what happens after, you don't want to know, because they will fight. Okay? But then the female will be pregnant for about 3.5 months. Yeah, they don't not so long. About 3.5 months, where she will give birth. A litter can have between 2 to 6 individuals, but they also be with their mother for about 2 years, and they will live a solitary life. Okay? Yeah, they are very patient hunters. Oh, now let's do the adaptations of the carnivores. Yeah, I will able to see maybe the mouth parts. What if it opens? Sight. Okay, sense of sight, so that they can spot their prey. Okay, easily. Now, for the cats, like the lions, okay, an adaptation could be due to their social structure, their hunting techniques, because for them they hunt in the pride. Okay, however, it's a disadvantage to this one. So if we are identifying like that a social structure, the fact that they live in a group and they hunt in the group to maximize their kill, okay, because it's easier for the group to capture you. Are you getting it? The other thing, have you let me come and look at it. Are you able to see the paw? You need to be sure that what you are going for, you're going to get it. Otherwise, you'll waste that energy and you still miss out on the kill. So it's important to take note of that. Did you talk of the good sense of smell? Good sense of smell also. Beg your pardon?
I'm saying not that they are influenced here. They don't go out to hunt.
No. All these animals that are here, we take care of them, so we do not allow them to go out there. If you want them to hunt, I can, let me first press the remote. So bend the motion. For this moment, I beseech you to pay attention so that we learn and then we go home or back at school. School or home? Hey. Okay. So I have a soft copy of the questionnaire here and I'm going to be looking through, and we are going to start with the areas that you are interested in according to your questionnaire. Now we're interested in getting to know more about in situ conservation. Okay? So conservation, what is conservation by the way? According to the new curriculum, I hear students have to answer questions. This is old curriculum. No, welcome to the new curriculum. Now I'm going to introduce you to the new curriculum. What is conservation? Okay, guys. Conservation. Don't write. First listen and understand. So I'm giving you now exercise for between 100 questions. I give you a question, you fail to give me an answer. So conservation is basically the sustainable use of natural resources. Okay? The word sustainable means using resources in a wise manner. Okay? If you have popcorns from home and they have given you one basket, then you'll be eating just maybe three of them per day. You are picking just 3 tablets per day. That means you are eating your corns but also thinking about tomorrow until the time is done. Now that means you are conserving. You get it? Conservation means you are utilizing a resource but sustainably thinking about the future, thinking about tomorrow, using a resource, meeting your own demands but not compromising on the demands of the future generation. That's basically conservation. Utilizing the resource sustainably. We have 2 major forms of conservation. Right here, you're interested in situ. In situ conservation is basically conserving animals in their natural habitat. As simple as that. You get it? It may not be necessarily animals alone. It might be a species, okay? Conserving the species in its natural habitat. Okay? Like natural habitats can be like national parks, game reserves, the ocean, the sea. You do all the efforts to ensure that the resource that is there meets the requirements of you, but also meets the requirements of the future generation. Now there you are conserving. Okay? Conservation does not mean preservation. Preservation means you do not touch. Okay? Right now we are doing conservation by allowing you to come and tour. You are understanding, you are picking knowledge, but at the same time you are not destroying the animals. That means that is conserving. If you come here and your target is to shoot an elephant, now that is not conserving. That means you are using with greedy intentions. You are not caring about the future generation. So basically that is it. Now the 2 arms include in situ and ex situ. In situ means you are conserving in the natural environment. Okay? I give an example. Then ex situ is conserving outside natural environment. For example, what we do here is called ex situ conservation. Conserving in zoos, conserving in botanical gardens, conserving in ponds, conserving in aquarium. That is ex situ. That means you are doing something good but outside the natural environment. Okay? Now, you wanted the importance of in situ conservation, right? Right?
Yes.
What do you think? Yes, please. Yes, please.
For the important. How is
I want you to draw your eyes to this particular setting, which is the zoo. Okay? For the ex situ conservation to be successful, first of all, you have to replicate the natural environment. You get it? It is what you call enrichment. Have you heard of that word, enrichment? Anyway, you are scientists. Now, enrichment means trying to stimulate a natural behavior. In enrichment, let me take you back to school. How many days do you eat meat at school? Price. Do you know why? Be honest. We're learning. Once. I'm not. But how many times do you eat meat at your home in a week? Be honest. Don't lie. Eh? Christmas. Jesus. So. Okay. Let me not talk about meat. Some of you are vegetarians, like my friend there. She didn't talk about meat, so she's a veg. Now, imagine when you go at school, okay? They are providing you a meal that you are used of eating at home, okay? They give you breakfast, they give you lunch, they give you dinner. So when you have those meals at school, they are simply trying to stimulate the way you behave at home, so that you feel comfortable where you are. But if you are at school and you're only given dinner unless you are fasting, then you are going to start missing home, and that brings what we call stereotypic behaviors. So stereotypic behavior are behaviors that are courtesy of stress due to missing something. Now, behavior like pacing, you have seen animals do this. That is pacing, and that results from stress because it's in an area. You brought an animal from, maybe like this elephant, you brought it from Queen Elizabeth and you put it in a very small cage. That is not how ex situ conservation is done. Ex situ conservation follows the animal rights as well. That's why you see we try to mimic the natural setting. We put in some grass. Sometimes we even lure them into what we call acoustics, like sounds that are familiar to the wild. Sometimes we do what we call olfactory stimulation. For like the lions, you'll bring some maybe buffalo poo and you put it in the corner. So this lion will think that, oh my God, I'm actually in the wild because the buffalo poo is smelling. The way you feed them, I told you about feeding already. You will not just present for the snakes. They're used to eating what? Chicks when they are still alive. But you get it? They're used to eating rodents, what in the wild there. So here what we do, we make the chicks half dead. Okay? The chick is half dead, so the snake will think that I have killed the chick myself. That's all how ex situ conservation is done. The thing is, like I'm sure your instructor wanted to hear this. The thing is, we have to stimulate the natural setting, even if the space is not so big. Because for ex situ, in most cases, space is not enough. But you try to trigger the wild setting to ensure that the species you are keeping feels comfortable. Okay? Any question? Is that enough? Perfect. Now, why? The question was, why do we do? Oh, importance, eh? Why do you think? By the way, even if they ask for ex situ or in situ, when they ask you why do you conserve, it's the same thing. Okay? Why do you think conservation is important? I want us to just only two answers, then I give you the rest. Why do you think conservation is important? Yes, my dear. Perfect. To prevent extinction. Okay? We used in 1986, when we had there was some political instability in the country. We used to have the largest population of the northern white rhinos. Okay? Largest population of the northern white rhinos. Right now, who knows how many northern white rhinos we have in the world? How many? The right answer came from here. 2. Only 2. We had an opportunity to ensure that there is no extinction. But right now, there is what you call a wild extinction of the northern white rhino. In the entire world, we have 2 members and both are females. Okay? So, conserving animals. Conserving, I beg your pardon? Don't get spoiled. I've not seen anyone who is above 18 here. Don't think about any other. Don't get spoiled. You're asking how are they going to do what? Hello. Don't. So what am I saying? I told you what conservation means, and what in situ conservation means. It means doing everything to ensure that the bird population in the wild is not extinct. So if you do all that, the first answer expected is what she has told us. We failed to conserve rhinos in the wild, and right now those rhinos got extinct in the wild, and we have little chances to have them breed. Of course, the semen of the last rhino Sudan was kept, but it's hard to have them multiply back. Okay, so in situ conservation avoids the extinction of species. Okay, another one. Okay, let me give you another one. Okay, it ensures ecosystem functionality. Okay, I'm going to explain every point so that you can use any language you want to explain it. Now, when you conserve, let me give you an example. I'm sure in the new curriculum you need to give an example on every point. Let me give you an example of conserving maybe a place like this. Let's imagine this is Queen Elizabeth. Okay, but this place harbors, beetles. Oh, okay. Let me talk about bees that you are familiar with. Do you know what the bees do? They do pollination. Okay. Now, if an ecosystem lacks the bees, you know what happens? It ceases being functional. If we have a national park and you don't have keystone species, like maybe let me talk of the keystone species. Give me an example of one. Elephant. Imagine of a park without elephants, a savanna park without an elephant, a savanna ecosystem without an elephant. It's going to cease being one. You get it? Because the elephants, what are they doing to maintain it as a savanna ecosystem? Why are they called keystone species, by the way? Because you have examples, but you're failing to give me why. Now, when the elephant is in a savanna ecosystem like here, it will ensure there are no trees that will grow. You get it? Hence, it will maintain the functionality of that ecosystem as a savanna ecosystem. Now, if you do not conserve the elephants in their natural habitat, that means that ecosystem is going to cease functioning. Okay? That's why I'm telling you, it ensures ecosystem functionality. Okay? The other one is conservation helps. There is one point that you should never forget as scientists. Climate change is almost on every answer. And when they talk of conservation, they don't mean animals only, even plants. Okay? Imagine if we go and we invade on Budongo. Right now, I think you know the biggest forest in Uganda. Yeah. All the big cats will have that.
What is it? A young elephant.
I knew there was an aggression. That trumpet, and when you see the elephant pushing the ears ahead, that is charging. If you see the elephant with the ears like that, if you can't run, you should fly. So there's that. No, that is an attack mode. Her mother, due to poachers, and she was brought here for rehabilitation. Later on, about 6 years ago, we also rescued that little one. Her name is Nyakato. Please, you enter in your exhibit, ma'am. Enter in your pleasure. So what we are doing what we call integration, and we want them to get used because elephants are family animals. However, even you people, you are social animals, but you are not going to entertain a stranger until you get used. So that's what we are doing. And the way we do it, we first of all separate them with total barrier. Then we leave just facial interface, okay? So they will be looking at each other, they will get used to each other, but now the aggression is very minimal. However, at the first time we started, they were making noise throughout. Even the other one was attacking, but now the other one is now submissive. Now the aggression is with her, but it is minimal. I think when you came, you saw there wasn't any noise. But perhaps the other one did some expression that made this one more aggressive. And this is courtesy of the limited human interaction. Okay? So, it's just chipping in because of global goals. However, there are major issues, doing circus, having lions, taking pictures with them, entertainment basically. But now the global goal is against that. And for us in Africa, there is so much animal rights. Okay? In that even for us here, this is the biggest cat in the world, meanwhile. But not an African cat. An Asian cat. And tigers, as you are aware, they are not found in any country in Africa in the wild, but only in captive settings. But it's an Asian cat called the Bengal tiger. Any questions? This is also under the cat family, even if it's not here, but it is Panthera tigris, and we just saw Panthera pardus. So we are going to look at Panthera leo. okay, which is the lion. They are all cats, and all the adaptations in carnivores are under there. Most of the adaptations for the predators. We are going to go to the forest ecosystem. Are we together? There's a lot that we're going to study from there. There's a lot of biology there that we're going to study. Then we have tower climbing. There's a lot of biology still that we're going to look at from there. The other thing, please listen, there are people that are more excited when we go to tower climbing, and you eventually lose the reason as why you came here. We came here to study. At the end of it all, you have a questionnaire. That questionnaire, before we leave UWEC, it must be full of ink. You don't have pens? If you don't have a questionnaire, for now it's okay. But if you have a questionnaire, make sure it's full of ink by the time we leave here. Then when you go back to school, you're going to make a report. Is that clear? We've not come here to play. You're going to make a report and then you hand in. We need that report. So this questionnaire is just going to guide you on majorly the things you're meant to summarize, but at the end of it all we expect a report. Now the main concepts that we expected to discuss from here. Number one, we're going to look at a concept. All concepts do with what we call an ecosystem. We expect you to know what an ecosystem is. We're going to look at different ecosystems, look at the grassland ecosystem majorly. But like I told you, we're studying biology in general. We're just using this field as maybe some sample of the biology we're meant to study in the field, but we're going to study a lot of things that do not even apply to the grassland ecosystem, some do not, that may not necessarily apply to the forest ecosystem. There is a lot of biology. Yeah. Okay. So as we start, the program is going to be like this. We're going to first have someone brief us about the forest. We get to know possibly maybe how did it start, some brief facts about the forest. The other thing, we expect you to be active. Those things, someone comes to class and you're all quiet. While in the field, we expect you to be very active. This man is coming, we expect you to start from here. If you have any question, please ask. Is that clear? We don't want you to behave like students from village schools. You bring people, a facilitator comes and you all keep quiet. Please, when he comes, if you have any question, feel free to ask. So he's the one going to brief us first, then after that we continue to the studying. How are we going to study? We're going to divide ourselves in 3 groups. Are we together? Each group will have 3 facilitators, then we'll move around. From here, like I told you, the concepts we're going to dwell on much. Number 1, we're going to look at some abiotic factors. We've said about those concepts, how they influence maybe the distribution of living organisms. The other concept that we're going to focus on is the concept of primary succession or succession. While primary succession, we also have secondary succession. How succession takes place on a bare rock, and we'll handle that concept from here. We're going to look at these abiotic factors and how they influence distribution of living organisms. We'll look at factors like temperature, light intensity. We'll also look at how they influence other maybe physiological processes like photosynthesis. We're not studying ecology only, by the way. There are many other biological concepts that we're going to discuss. Concepts to do with nutrition, concepts to do with the transpiration, things to do with the homeostasis. Under homeostasis, there are concepts looked at like xeromorphic features,
We also have a wetland ecosystem down there. While the forest ends, we have some wetland. Here we have the grassland ecosystem. Down there we have the forest ecosystem. Then we have the wetland ecosystem. We're going to look at how the different plants are adapted to staying in such habitats. If you try to check majorly the plants in the grassland ecosystem, most of them have some xeromorphic features, which will expect you to tell us as maybe we supplement somewhere where it is necessary. We'll also go to the forest ecosystem. There is a lot to study from there. When we go there, we expect you to be kind of observant. There are people you enter with the forest and they just concentrate on making fun, talking with girls. Some people, they begin coupling inside the forest. We're going there to study. Are we together? As we are there, if there is any concept that comes into your mind, ask. Is that clear? Remember, we're not studying only ecology. We're studying very many other concepts. Try to check at, we're going to look at some plants under the canopy. Try to look at the flow of the forest. Processes taking place there, decomposition, which microorganisms we expect there. The other concept I said is succession. We're going to discuss succession in details. In fact, some of these concepts are going to choose you people to be the ones to describe them for us, because we've taught in class. We expect you to be knowing some of these things. Remember to write. When we are boarding these buses at the end, we'll ask for that handout, and it must be full of ink everywhere. Is that clear? No question should remain untouched. And what you write there is just going to help you summarize and make the final report. Make sure every question, every concept that has been talked about on that paper, it should be tackled, because in our report, you have to document whatever is there. The other thing we're going to focus on, we'll look at concepts of energy transfer through an ecosystem from the sun to producers to the consumers. We'll look at that concept, how energy is transferred through the different trophic levels. Then we'll look at concepts to do with the food chains and food webs. I think our ecology teachers covered those concepts. There's a lot we're going to cover about something we call an ecotone, when we are transitioning from the grassland ecosystem to the forest ecosystem. Like I've told you, expect you to be very observant. As you're here, try to observe the environment around you. There's a lot of biology that you're meant to study. As we move around, you can even pluck some leaves, try to observe them. There are many concepts we've been studying in class, but now we are in the field. We expect you to experience them very, very well. About the ecotone, majorly we're going to look at the characteristics of an ecotone. We'll look at the functions of the ecotone. We'll look at concepts to do with the population. We'll look at concepts to do with competition. We expect you to know some biological concepts about predator-prey relationships, competition. There are some laws there. Then eventually, when we go down there, I've told you, after the forest we have the wetland ecosystem. We'll be expected to look at some concepts to do with hydrophytes there. Majorly plant adaptations we are going to focus on. We are going to look at xeromorphic features. And like I told you, we are not going to use only examples here. We have a few examples here. But like in UNEB, you don't expect them to set a question specifically targeting maybe a grassland ecosystem in Zika Forest. We can set a question that requires you to give examples that are not even here. Are we together? So we're just using this as a sample, but we're going to focus on a wide range of different biological concepts. So about the hydrophytes there, when we reach there, we look at the adaptations. We expect you to don't allow water to enter your shoes, but try, if you can get those leaves, look at them, how broad they are, maybe the different adaptations. Some of them you can try to break, and provided you don't destroy the whole plant, but you can try to look at those concepts. Then we look at some concepts in nutrition, heterotrophic nutrition, these interactions between living organisms, concepts of mutualism, concepts of parasitism. We look at concepts to do with commensalism and others. All that biology, we know you've not carried your books, but we expect all those concepts to be inside your heads. I think ecology is complete in our classes. Yes, so we expect, but the most important thing is we expect you to discuss with us. Are we together? We expect you to discuss with us. Lastly, the other concept we are going to talk about is animal behavior. We might discuss some concepts to do with animal behavior here, but we'll finish most of them when we go to the zoo in UWEC. And majorly we'll concentrate on predator-prey relationships. We'll be able to see some characteristics of animals of prey and some predators. We'll look at concepts to do with the courtship behavior. I'm sure behavior has been taught in our classes. Then we'll also look at the concepts to do with parental care and maybe territorial behavior, advantages, and whichever concepts are meant to cover there. So majorly that's the main brief we expect. But like I told you, please let's cooperate. And at the end of it all, we want that questionnaire full of ink. When you go back to school, every person is supposed to make a report. So while here, make sure you utilize this time to study. Majorly that.
One is going to take care of us for the small time we shall be here. And it is very important for the LC1 of the area to always brief you about the area. Maybe here when there is a leopard behind you. So allow the LC1 to brief us, and from there we shall begin real learning business. So listen carefully.
All right,
Mr. Chairman, you can talk to us.
Thank you very much. Good morning, students. How are you? You're most welcome at Zika Forest. This is a natural and tropical type of forest that covers about 26 hectares. Zika means overgrown, translated from Uganda language. The forest is accessible to visitors for birdwatching, and the former USA President Jimmy Carter visited the forest for that same purpose. A rich biodiversity in plants and moths, and is a home to over 40 mosquito types. So I guess you came ready with your mosquito repellents. No, eh? You have, eh? Which repellent? Which type of repellent? Eh? But the good thing, you look like typical Ugandans. Eh? You are not. There are so many ways we can prevent mosquito bites naturally without using repellents. One of the ways is by slapping. So when you see a mosquito biting your friend, okay? A simple slap, eh? Yeah, a simple slap. But on a serious note, over 40 species of mosquitoes, and don't allow them to bite you. It is a research field for various diseases, especially those spread by mosquitoes. And the investigation of mosquitoes at Zika Forest started in 1946, and later in 1947, the Zika virus was also isolated in a rhesus monkey by the researchers. But that wasn't their target. Their target was yellow fever, which was a serious problem in most African countries by that time. So when they found that new virus, they abandoned yellow fever and used most of their time to study more about the Zika virus. So in 1960, the researchers were forced to move a steel tower. We shall look at that tower when we enter the forest. It was moved from Panga Forest in Impigi district to study the vertical stratification of mosquitoes. Mosquitoes breed vertically, depending on the species. For instance, see, Antonio. What is the mosquito responsible for malaria? Anopheles mosquito, so they fly on the lower altitudes. So if you want to trap them, you'll have to place your trap on the first layer, on the first layers of the tower from the bottom. What is the mosquito responsible for elephantiasis? Huh? The Culex mosquito in the middle layers. The Zika virus is also spread by a mosquito, Aedes mosquito, flies at a greater height, so you definitely find it on the last layers of the tower from the bottom. So in 1967, by the help of that tower, that's when the researchers realized that the Zika virus was from a collected Aedes africanus mosquito. That is a day active mosquito, and its incubation period is about 3 to 10 days. So from that time, the routine collection of mosquito, the Zika Forest, stopped for like 4 decades. Until 2010, when the virus spread fear across the world, that the work of collecting mosquitoes here resumed. So that's all about Zika Forest, and my name is Emma. Any questions from what I've just said? The what? African name? Mukisa. Yeah, my name is Mukisa Emmanuel. All right. Since you have no questions,
You have said that mosquitoes breed in what?
altitudes.
This one is saying towers. You first repeat that point, custodian. Because I don't want to enter there and mosquitoes bite me. I want to know where I should be.
Mosquitoes are not going to bite you, okay? So most of them are not day active.
Good morning, all of you. So basically, we are here to enhance our theory with the practical as far as the subject is concerned. We are here as biologists, and so we are going to look at a lot of concepts in the biology. Well, we know that biology is the study of life, and so we have come outside here to interact with the life outside. That's why we want you to interact with the environment. We want you to interact with the climatic factors, the sunshine. So you have this experience in good faith. Mainly, however much we are going to look at all concepts in the subject, we are going to draw so much in ecology. Ecology is the study of organisms and their interactions with the biotic and abiotic factors. People are not writing. We have started. You should be noting. You don't want to show off. Those are your ways, but when it comes to writing content in the papers, still you fail to show off. The maybe is the goal. Okay. Now we are going to look at both abiotic and biotic components of the environment. And basically, abiotic components are those that do not have life, in simple terms, non-living component of the environment. Then the biotic refers to the living component of the environment. We know well that the biotic constitutes of the producers, the consumers at the different levels, and then the decomposers. So in each of the ecosystems you are going to be interacting with, ensure that you identify the producers in that environment, you identify the consumers and the decomposers. Is that okay? Yes. So basically, we are going to look at concept 1 is going to be the ecosystems. What is an ecosystem? Allow you to show off. What is an ecosystem? You don't want to show off. Yes, Chitolo. Okay, it's a group of organisms interacting to form a self-sustaining unit. And we have very many kinds of ecosystems. Basically, we are seated in an open grassland ecosystem. We are going to go and interact with the other ecosystems, as already the teacher that has been here has told you. So right now, let's interact with the open grassland ecosystem. Let's identify the adaphic factors and the edaphic factors that constitute this ecosystem. One, let's begin with the adaphic factors. One, sunlight. Who can comment about the sunlight here? It is too much. That's what we want you to interact with. That's why we are making you to sit here, so that you are able to realize that when we were in the open grassland, the sunshine was too much. The temperature. How do you feel the temperature of this place? Someone is saying it is cold, depending on your reference. As we are going to be transiting from this ecosystem to the next ecosystems, I want you to take note of the temperature. And you're going to realize that the temperature here is far much greater than the temperature you're going to find in the forest ecosystem. Is that okay? The humidity in this environment is far much low. The water content of the air. When you reach into the forest, you are going to realize that the place will be a little cool, the temperatures will be low, and even the humidity will be high. You'll be able to tell. Are we together? Yes. Are people being listening to me? Yes. Look at the edaphic factors in this place. Edaphic factors, that is to do with the soil. Who can comment on the soil here?
Students, we use it when we are establishing what and what? The number of organisms in an environment and the number of species available. That is density and diversity. Now, who can tell me what type of organisms are the best to use for this? Can you use a quadrat to estimate the number of monkeys in the population? No. So what are the assumptions that the organisms we are counting are what? No, we are not in the market. We are in the field, not in the market. Put up your hand and I see you. The organisms, Are you saying something? Or you're chewing on grass? Chewing on grass, okay. What organisms do we use? First of all, the organisms have to be slow moving. Slow moving. Are you getting my point? What else? The organisms have to be what? Small. You cannot use this to count now. If I throw it there, the boys will run away. Are you getting my point? Now, we are going to do samples. What are some of the rules you have to follow? Number one, you have to establish the area that you are going to sample. Are you getting my point? Now, when you are throwing, you must sample a space that is equivalent to a large covering of the space that you are sampling. You cannot throw one quadrat for a whole acre. Are you getting my point? So the bigger the space, the more times you have to sample. When you throw this, you don't move it again. You count where it falls. You count how many organisms are in that area. You pick it up, you stand where you've counted, and you throw. Not very far. Some of you throw the thing and it breaks. This is not ours. Are we together? Now, because we don't know the names of the organisms we are going to count, we are going to use letters. Are you getting my point? So if you see insect A and you see it again, don't give it another name. Insect A is going to be insect what? A. That is for diversity. And then for density, we are just going to count the number of insects that you find in an A. That's going to be our very first activity. Are we together? Have we understood what we are doing? We are going to go into different areas. Are you going in the same area? We are going to go into different areas. Our purpose there is to establish two things: density and diversity. How many insects we have, but also how many species or how many different types of insects we have in that particular area. You can also do it for plants. If you are in a place
that has different varieties of plants. We do for plants? Okay, so they have advised me that we should do for plants, just in case we don't have insects.
In every group there will be teachers.
Yeah.
And now we are moving with technology. I'm quite sure these teachers have smartphones, so they will use Google lenses to identify these plants we are going to count.
Yep.
So that you get to know their names. Now you as a person, you should also be informed on how to use some of those things you have on your phones. Not only twerking on TikTok, okay? We have what they call Google Lens. It can help you to identify.
Yeah.
Are we there? And remember, this is the foundation of research. Sampling is the foundation of what? Of research. Some of us here, after we join campus, actually, I should assure you, as long as you're in this class, you'll do research. And you do what you call sampling. Then we shall only do what they call plant population sampling.
Yep.
We shall do their diversity and abundance. Then afterwards, we can sit down and calculate using what we call a diversity index.
Yeah.
An abundance index. So we can tell that now in this area where we sampled, we have more of this grass than in the other one. So we're going to sample in this open grassland, and in our groups, we shall sample in different corners of the open grassland. And then to find out where the grassland transit into a forest, that ecosystem is referred to as an ecotone. So we shall also sample inside on the peripheral in the ecotone. Once we are done with that, then we shall also sample in the forest so that we can get to know the species which are in the grassland, and you can also find them in the ecotone and also in the what? In the forest.
In the forest.
And we try to relate with the biology we have learned. So those in group 1, we are going to do the sampling with Mr. Solomon, Mr. Ojera, and Mr. Watmon. That is your team. That is your team.
Small.
A larger area. Is that okay? So which area are we going to choose? We start at this side. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
How the quadrant is used? Has it been
Yeah,
demonstrated?
it has been demonstrated already.
Take charge. This is a random sampling, not systematic, isn't it?
Yeah, random. Okay.
Which species type are we focusing on one species of a plant, or we just want to?
No, like we should test for species richness and then diversity.
Okay.
Yeah. So what we are going to do in this area, I want us to identify the different species of the grass here, and then is it possible that we can estimate the number?
We shall try.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So for now, we are going to give them letters, as we have said, because some of the names may become a little challenging and may not need. So even these insects,
as long as it has already appeared there, you count it. Even when it jumps out later. All right. Yeah.
So which species are you counting? No, you choose and say let's begin maybe with this type of grass and you call it A. Is that okay? Then now you begin counting all grasses of this species. You get? So this is your A. Now begin counting the A species.
This becomes A.
Check how this guy is counting. Who's counting? Are you counting? Even just putting the hand, I don't know who's counting. How many?
Thick trefoil, or you can say 3-flower beggar weed. You can call it 3-flower beggar weed. This one here. Then we have another one here. This one here. Now we are identifying these plants here right now. That means the next time we throw another code red, we are going to be counting these plants we have already identified. So let us identify this one here. Now that one is called Paspalam notatum. That is its scientific name. Is called Paspalam notatum. This one here. Paspalam notatum. That is the scientific name. Okay. So this is Q4. Then we have this one here. You see this? Google Lens to identify them. And Google Lens has said this is what we are calling path rush. This one is called path rush. So now that gives us Q what? Q5, isn't it? Now, one person come and count. You count Q1, then another person counts Q2, another one counts Q3, the other person counts Q4, and then Q5. Chitolo, you're counting Q1.
Okay. It's like
45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72. No, I started from here.
That is
72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 84, 85.
Alright, so we take Q1 as 80. So we record 85. Who is counting Q2? Chikwan has Q2 very fast. Did record? This is it. This is it 2. This is it 3. Are you saying then this is it? 4, 5, 6. You get it? Eh? You ensure that each root must be counted differently from the other.
these are 6 roots, then 7, 8, 9.
You have left this one here. This is 8. This is 9. Are you getting it? Then this is 10. This is 11. This is 12. This is 13. Now count these ones.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46.
It's okay. Let's take that one. Let's take Q2 as 40, 46. Q3, who is counting Q3? Do you recall which one Q3? Okay, which one is it? The gripping trigger. I think it's this one. Next one.
This is 1. Is 2.
So what is 2?
3.
There is 1.
4.
The 5th one is here.
5. I counted this one.
It's 5. Okay, we take Q3 as 5. We start in Q4. Q4. Who recalls what Q4 was? Paspalam. Count for us Q4. You don't know what it looks like? It is this one here.
One.
No, this one here. Look for those that resemble this one. Oh, sorry.
1. 2.
Your massive information to distinguish them very well.
Yeah, 3.
Okay, how many have you got?
3.
3. Add this. So those are 6. 6, these ones? Yes. 7. So we take Q, that's Q? Q4, right? Q4 is 7. Who's counting that's Q5? Q5 is that one there, Make sure you observe very well, and it is one plant.
2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6. This one. Yeah. 7, 8, 9.
Remember, as you help him to see you. That is 9. Okay. So we take Q5 as 9. So in there it's within the quadrant or outside? Within. Okay, fine. So that's 10,
10, right? 11. Yeah. These are 12. These are 13. 14. This one.
That one that tutorial is showing you? 15.
10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Q5, we have seen 15 of them here. Now this is Q1. I mean, this is quadrant 1. This is the first what? The first quadrant. So now we are going to throw it after here, we throw it randomly. But remember, we can throw quadrants along what we call a transect. Along a what? A transect. Now this one here, we are not throwing it along a transect, but we're just throwing it randomly, okay? So now from here, another person will pick it, turn the back, and then throw it to the next place. In that next place, we're looking for those species we have identified. Are we there? So let us have around 3 quadrants here. Then as we go to the ecotone, we also have like 3 or 4. And then, but guys, remember, this is the basis of research. as long as you're in that science class, when you do nursing or what, at one point you're going to do research, and sampling is a must, because research is what we base on to get data, and from the data we analyze the data, and we can make inferences. Inferences are conclusions, and that is what makes a scientist. Don't be calling yourself a sciencer with BCM. No, you're not a sciencer. You're just doing theoretical science. This is practical science. So one person. This is the second one. Is this a different one? This is 3. So far we have 3 species. This is what? 4. This one is another one. 5. What else? Is it the only one we're having? Another one here is it? 6. Are we done? Try to look around. 7. I think we have counted that one. This one. This one we have also counted. So can we say we are done? We have 8 different species here. Okay, this is open grassland, not so. Now let's carry our quadrant. We move this side.
The person throwing should not look where they are throwing.
Before we go to the ecosystem, can you follow me here? Come and we look at something here. We already know this is open grassland. The temperature is hot. We have little water in the soil. What kind of plants do we expect here? Plants with it? Plants with what? Let's first talk about the leaves. We expect narrow leaves to reduce on the rate of photosynthesis, not so? What else? Very good. You come here. But that's not what we are looking for. Continue looking again. Look at this area and tell me, why is this particular area very different from other area around it? Are you kidding me? You people, okay, look at where you're almost standing. Did that one happen naturally? It didn't happen naturally, isn't it? Who did that? Influence of man in an ecosystem. You understand? Someone dug this area, made the soils a little bit what? Less compact. You get? Making the roots of plants easier to what? To penetrate into the soil. Now, if the soil are loose, that means they can also contain more what? More water. If the soil are very compact, water cannot infiltrate into the what? Into the soil. They can simply just what? Wash away. You understand? But if the soil are loose, water can easily penetrate into the what? Into the soil, and it will favor growth of very many other what? Other species. You understand? Just looking at this, can we pick some plants which were not in what we just counted? We can. Those ones who were not.
Do you realize that now we are getting...
See how different they are from what we have met the other side.
And what is the major difference? They have bigger leaves. You can
and how many leaves per plant? Are you seeing the leaves are many? You understand? What else? Are you seeing that? Some have tap roots, of course. Others will what? Will have fibrous root system. You get? Yes. So you can see how human activity influences the what? Diversity of species. In most cases, human activities actually spoils the habitats of some of these species, reducing on species diversity. But in this particular area, since the environment was already harsh, the human activity here in particular made the area a little bit what? Better. You understand? A little bit more favorable, making sure that here now we are having more species than from where we are from. Are we together? Okay, let's go to the ecotone.
We wanted to use the other side.
For the other side? Okay. But does it go into the forest? I wanted us to go to the ecotone and just... Okay, fine. We go.
Let's go. People who are using umbrellas. I said umbrellas like this.
Okay, even if you're using the umbrella, let's walk fast. We have a lot that we might want to talk about. We can see butterfly.
Talk about the animals.
We had Toraj saying we should leave the what? The animals. Now, when you look at around the top here, are you noticing the different plants found here? You see, the one with the broad leaves are the what? The majority, without even counting, isn't it? What's special about this area? The soils are what? Moist. There is more water there. What do you face? What challenge do you face if your leaves are very broad like this? High rate of transpiration because the leaves have a larger what? Surface area. You understand, eh? Very good. Whereas these ones here, look at the what? The leaves. These ones here, they are well adapted to reduce what? Transpiration. Because one of the things you will face a challenge in getting is the water. Yes?
Red light.
Aha. Needle-like leaves. You first see now this leaf here. We know there is stomata there, isn't it? But now there must be very few what? Stomata. Because if you have so many stomata, you end up losing too much what? Water. And you won't be able to survive. Let's continue going. Again, human what? Influence. Yes, sir.
Sitting when we are on the rock there, some of you never saw insects, right? As we begin to go from the bare rock and we begin to descend into the forest, now you can see butterflies, what. So what comes first? It's always the plants that colonize an area first. Of course, bare rock, we know the lichen start, what. But as we go into the bush, you can find the forest like this may not have as many animals. Animals come in later after the forest has established its what?
Itself.
And what is the value of that? What is the impact of animals?
Which level of which trophic level do they fall in? We want to talk about that distribution. Where are they more abundant? Are they in the grassland? Are they in the forest edge, in the forest, or in the forest gap? What do you know about the termites? What do they feed on? Yes, they feed on food. Wood, eh? Now, the termites are the soil engineers. Those ones are the decomposers. Meaning, if you are to find termite in any place, you should be having abundance of dead plant material. What do you know about the butterflies? What do you know about the butterflies? They feed on nectar, and where are we getting the nectar? From the flowers, and the flowers should be on a flowering plant. Now, if you check between the grassland ecosystem, then you check a place like this. Then we check the forests. Then we check the forest gap with just an empty place having fallen trees. Where are we going to be having a lot of flowers? Is it the grassland ecosystem? Is it the forest edge? Is it the forest or the forest gap?
Just look at it.
Just look. Where are we seeing? Are we having a very high abundance of butterflies here?
So is it at the junction, open grassland, or forest grassland?
The forest gap. I mean the forest edge. You can see we have a lot of dicots here. And the dicots, you realize with monocots, they just have inflorescence, those tiny whatevers, those small things. Like that one there. Now, in the forest gap, we have many dicots, and the dicots are having very many flowers. You can see like this ones. Then if you go to the forest, I'm not seeing any flower on any tree. Meaning, if we are supposed to be having butterflies, I think this is the best place. And those of you who check the graph, you realize the abundance. The butterflies picked in this place. They are picking at this place. You can see most of the butterflies. They are around this place.
And we are at the wrong time. In the evening, they will be more abundant, and in the morning, when there is less sun.
So that is it with the butterflies. The abundance is at this point. Then the last group we have to talk about, I think those are the what? The spiders. What do we know with the spiders? What do they do? Spiders are going to be predators. They are scavengers. They be scavenging on other organisms. Meaning, if there's any place we're supposed to be having the spiders, it should be an open place where they can easily lay their traps
They are supposed to be eating some other insects, but these guys are not hunters. They are predators, but they have some other specific mechanisms they use for hunting. For them, they just leave their nest there, the spider webs, then the other organisms just come and trap themselves there. Meaning we have to look for the best place for setting the whatever. For setting the spider webs. Between the grassland ecosystem, between then the forest edge, then the forest and the forest gap. Where shall be having that? We have the insect versus the ecosystem. Grassland, just put grassland, forest edge, forest and forest gap. That's horizontally. Then vertically, termite, spider, butterfly. First one have grassland, that's horizontally. Grassland, forest edge, the forest, then the forest gap.
An extensive network of routes. Yes. Do you see that? Yes. I'm going to ask you to trace the root until you find the plant.
The soils are deep. We are seeing
What do you think is the nature of the pH of the soil? Yeah?
Be a little bit alkaline.
Must be alkaline or acidic. Yeah?
Why?
Yeah? Alkaline or acidic? Alkaline or acidic? Lichenic acid decomposition. Look for signs of mold. Signs of mold. Fungus. And wherever there is that, the network of mycorrhiza. Can you, where you are, construct a food chain there? At least having 3 or 4 organisms, or 5. That food chain is starting from dead, decaying organic matter.
Yeah.
And the type of food chain is called a detritus what? Food chain. These words that we are sounding here will make more sense when you bump with the word in the textbook or in the question paper, and they are saying, what is a detritus food chain? Construct a detritus food chain that starts with this decomposing leaf litter, and ends maybe with a grasshopper. Yeah.
So with the detritus, we are starting with decomposing organic matter.
Which is the leaf litter.
Yes. Then we have, what do you think? You have the leaf litter, this leaf litter here, being broken down by the macro decomposers.
Those are the termites. The termites, the worms. The worms, if they are there.
Isn't it? Those are the macro meaning they are large. You can see them. You can see a termite. I don't know that you have seen any.
You should be able to identify termites here.
So from the macro decomposers, breaking down the leaf litter, reducing their size, isn't it? Modifying the leaf, making it simpler for the micro decomposers. The micro decomposers, the bacteria, the ones that we cannot see.
But the fungus, we have this evidence. The
yes,
mold.
For the fungus, we can see.
Yes, the mold is here.
Yes. Isn't it? Then probably those bacteria also have their parasites that later on feed on them and the fungi. So you have the leaf litter, you have the macro, can be a termite. Then you have the micro, bacteria and the fungi, and then we can have those parasites that can feed on those bacteria. And the detritus food chain is done.
Now, when we go back to our histology, you remember the structure of these tissues. We got to realize that in their cell walls, they have different components. We saw that many of them have cellulose, some have hemicellulose, pectins, and lignin. You remember?
Actually, it starts from...
And so that picture that describes their structural property. You get the point? Now that we have adapted to physiologically, light intensity has decreased. That decrease in light intensity becomes a stimulus. Yes? The light falls onto the retina. The retinal cells, yes, generate nerve impulses because they are transducers. The impulses are sent to the brain. The brain sends back effector impulses to the iris muscles, the ciliary iris muscles and the radio iris muscles that contract in the way that you should be knowing So the pupil size does what? Widens. There's dilation of the pupil. So that more light now enters into your eyes. And that is a response to a decrease in light intensity in your textbook. Dark and light adaptation. We don't want to go to the details of photoreception.
Vision in dim light. Light.
Yes? Physiologically, the skin receptors detect a decrease in environmental temperature because they are at the surface, isn't it? They generate nerve impulses to the brain. This time it stimulates the heat gain center and or inhibit stimulate the heat loss center or inhibit the heat gain center. The resulting impulses are sent back to the effectors. One of the effectors is the sweat gland. How does the sweat gland respond to a decrease in environmental temperature? By decreasing sweat production. Nobody has pulled a what? A hand to wipe sweat, but sweat all of a sudden is no longer there. Yes? The fact that also here it is cooler, the temperature here is lower, probably than body temperature. It means some heat from the skin surface diffuses to the environment, probably through radiation, conduction, or if you're touching something called by convection, if you're touching by conduction. How are they guys? Pay attention to the plant. I wanted to lie to you, but I'm going to do it. This is a Commelina leaf. Commelina benga bengalensis. Have you ever seen a Commelina this big?
Yes, now you are seeing it in the forest.
The change in abiotic factor, number one, the leaf becomes broader. The leaf is darker green. The leaf surface is non-hairy. Non-what? Hairy. I'm not saying smooth, because it can be without hairs when it is rough. It can be with hairs when it is smooth. For example, most of your skins are hairy, but it's smooth. Yes. But there's also part of the skin that is hairy and it is not smooth. For example, the hair on the head. Right? So the abiotic factor is changing morphology of the plants. Stand up. Pick a leaf somewhere. Abiotic factors is changing what? Morphology. Under the forest canopy, ladies and gentlemen, the limiting factor. The limiting factor is what? Light intensity.
Very low.
Otherwise, there is moisture down here. There is nutrients. Yes? The limiting factor is what? Light intensity. Like they said, wherever a plant is found, wherever an organism is found, they must be able to survive. How do the plants growing under the canopy survive? Number one, we have the big boys here. These are the big boys. Here they are. Very tall and very long stems, exposing branches and leaves up above the canopy. For them, they are exposed to light, isn't it? Do you think light is also a limiting factor to them? No. They are exposed. Actually, they're the ones forming the umbrella, the canopy there. But what about this guy? The leaf lamina is broad to increase the surface area for maximum light absorption.
2009.
Unique features. The structure described. Yeah? The role of that structure. The implication on the process or the effect on the process. The lamina is broad. Why? To increase the surface area. For what? For maximum light absorption. If maximum light absorption occurs, then what? There is efficiency or there is increased, there is rapid photosynthesis.
Mr. 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Number
Read.
2.
Yes.
Explain how plants living under the canopy of forest trees are able to survive.
Correct.
That one was very simple.
Correct. We are
Because
now
they
under the
didn't
forest canopy.
They didn't respond
And we have
in
plans.
any way.
The answers are here.
Yes.
The answers are here. Can you see them? Can you see them? Can you write them? The other thing, the leaves are dark green, indicating a high concentration of what? For what? You can even go specific. If it is dark green, which type of photosynthetic pigment is it?
Chlorophyll A.
Yes? And what do we know about chlorophyll A?
Max.
These are the ones who do not have erect stems. This is a grass, by the way. Are you aware? And we said that the predominant vegetation in a forest can never be grass. If you have grass here, it must be having specific adaptations. And the grass the other side have narrow leaves. And the leaves are vertically arranged. The grass here, broad leaves, horizontally arranged. The grass there, pale green. The grass here, dark green. It's not by mistake, it's here. And survive. How about this guy? They are not grass, they have an erect stem. Yeah? The low light intensity here simulates a very rapid growth with very thin and wiry stem. Thin and wiry what? Stem. If the growth, this one is struggling to survive. It's supposed to grow and expose these leaves where there's light. Primary growth. Which type of growth is that? Primary growth.
Where does it occur?
Where does it occur? Ladies and gentlemen, when the stem of a plant grows very long, let me call it tall and thin, the biological process there is called etiolation. It's called what? Etiolation. E-T-I-O-L-A-T-I-O-N. Etiolation. It is a response to low light intensity, but it is a strategy. It is an adaptation to survive under the canopy. Growing very tall, growing very long comes with a challenge, ladies and gentlemen. Comes with a what? Challenge.
Energy investment.
What is Bior? Bior is not here. Who is the longest around here? Maybe Ode Kenya. When you grow very tall, you lose stability. You lose support. The ones who are down to earth, they are more stable. So this one needs support, extra support later on, isn't it?
Yeah.
The ones who have grown longer and taller and older enough, they develop an extra root. This one is not there. The other one that is developing it. There you are. Go there and show them what buttress roots are. Madam Afoy, show them what buttress roots. We are going to get much bigger buttress roots that are longer than taller than some of you. Yes?
And huge in size.
Huge, kabisa. Huge kabisa.